Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss IELTS writing task 1, that is bar graph. Basically IELTS writing task academics have two tasks. First task is bar graph or any writing task 1 like bar graph, pie chart, procedure chart, map. And second task is an essay that consists 6 bands. Writing task 1 consists 3 bands and writing task 2 consists 6 bands. Overall there is a 9 band evaluation for writing. And here we are going to discuss how to explain a given graph in 4 paragraphs. In writing task 1, you have to write 4 paragraphs and you have to write at least 150 words. And in writing, there will be 1 hour duration, but you have to spend 50. It is suggested that you have to spend 15 minutes on writing task 1 and then 45 minutes on essay. So we will spend 15 minutes to explain this whole writing task 1, and you have to write at least 150 words in the explanation. There will be 4 paragraphs, and in the first paragraph you have to introduce the graph. Second, you have to mention overall explanation of the data. Third and fourth paragraph you have to discuss the data in numbers and you have to make comparisons. So here we have the statement, the chart below shows the expenditure of 2 countries on consumer goods in 2010. So here there are 2 countries given. First country blue represent here, blue represent France and orange represent UK. So the chart below shows the expenditure of 2 countries on consumer goods in 2010. There are consumer goods, cars, computers, books, perfume and cameras, and whole data is shown in pounds sterling. Now you have to write your explanation, your report writing. First paragraph is introduction, where you just have to rephrase the whole statement. Like the chart below shows the expenditure of 2 countries on consumer goods in 2010. You have to write your first introduction paragraph in 2 to 3 lines. The chart illustrates, we just change the statement. The chart illustrates the amount of money spent on 5 consumer goods, cars, computers, books, perfume and cameras in France and UK in 2010. Units are measured in pounds sterling. So what you have to do in your introduction part, you have to write 2 to 3 lines. You just have to rephrase the statement using synonym. The chart you represent the bar graph below shows you use the word illustrates. Illustrates the expenditure of 2 countries on consumer goods. In 2010, you just have to explain the whole consumer goods like cars, computers, books, perfumes and cameras. And you have to mention the currency. Here currency is pound sterling. Now you have to write overall the maximum and the minimum amount spent on consumer goods by whole 2 countries. You have to write at least 4 to 5 lines. So we will start our second paragraph with, from overall perspective, it is crystal clear that the UK spent more money on consumer goods than France in the period given. Here you know that the blue represent France and orange represent UK. You know that British represent UK. UK spent mostly more money on the expenditures on all the most of the categories. UK spent more money in most of the categories. Both the British and French spent most of their money on cars, whereas the least amount of money was spent on perfume in the UK compared to in France. So here you know that in cars categories both countries spent the most money. And in perfumes, France spent more money than UK. So you just have to explain the maximum and minimum categories in overall. And then we will write a third paragraph where we will discuss the whole numbers. In first and second paragraph, you just don't have to write your pounds or your money that is explained in the data. Now in third and fourth paragraph, we will discuss the whole data, the whole categories. At a fleeting glance, it is readily apparent that. At a fleeting glance means at a overall view, at a first glance, it is readily apparent that means it is showing that in terms of cars, people in the UK spent about £450,000 on cars as opposed to the French at 440,000. So here you know that 450,000 was spent by UK and 400,000 was spent by France. We discussed the data here. Next, similarly, the British expenditure was higher on books than the French. British expenditure was higher on the books than the French. You know that British are higher than French people in books and cars categories. So we have discussed books and cars. Now the remaining categories. Then the French in the UK expenditures on cameras was £350,000 was over double than that of the France, which was only £150,000. In cameras. Now in cameras category, UK expenditure was 350,000 and France expenditure was 150,000, which was nearly double. So we have also discussed this camera category. Now we will discuss the other two categories in the next paragraph. Probing ahead, the amount of money paid out on the remaining goods was higher in France. Above 350,000 was spent by French on computer, which was slightly more than the British, who spent exactly 350,000 pounds. So here the same money was spent, slightly same money was spent on computers, but France spent slightly more money on computers than British. There is a little bit difference. Next, neither of the countries spent much on perfume, which accounted for £200,000 for expenditure in France, but under £150,000 in the UK. So here we have discussed all the categories, only category left, that is perfume. So in perfume, neither of the countries spent much on perfume, which accounted for £200,000 of expenditure in France, but under £150,000 in the UK. You know that when you compare the whole data with the graph, you know that £200,000 were spent by France and then near about 150,000 spent by UK. So with this, we completed our discussion on writing task 1, that is bar graph. So in third and fourth paragraph, you have to discuss the categories. In third paragraph, you can discuss 3 categories. In fourth paragraph, you can discuss 2 categories. You have to divide your categories. You have to explain the data. You have to make comparisons between the data. In third and fourth paragraph, first and second paragraph, you have to introduce the introduction and then you have to write overall, and in third and fourth paragraph you have to explain the numbers. So with this, we completed our writing task 1 explanation. So what is the strategy or what are the rules to writing task 1? That there should be at least 150 words. You should spend 15 minutes to writing task 1. And you have to write 4 paragraphs, in which first paragraph is introduction, second paragraph is overall, third paragraph and fourth paragraph are the body paragraph, where you have to write at least 7 to 8 lines. You have to maintain word limit. So with this we completed our video. If you really like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.